guys, it's Manager Kylie, and in today's video, I'm going to share with you all the rules of archery. So today I'm going to go through the basic rules of archery. I'm going to kind of focus on Olympic archery and then indoor archery, which has some different rules. There are many different kinds of archery and different archery competitions, but I'm going to focus on a few rules that go through all the different archery competitions and then a few specific rules for both Olympic archery and indoor archery, just so you have a better idea on how those run. And if you guys are interested in more sports administration content just like this, definitely hit the subscribe button, turn the bell so you get notified every time I upload, as I post a new video every single Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern time, and we're going to dive into these rules. Now, for the sport of archery, one key thing is the person with the most points is going to win. This is generally run in the different ends that you play, and the points you earn in each end, the higher amount of points you have at the end of the end, that's the person that gets the points for that end. For archery, you use a bow and some arrows to shoot at a target. And there's two different kinds of bows you could use. A compound bow is one of them, and the other one's a recurve bow. And depending on the different competitions you're in, you would use a different bow. So people with compound bows are going to compete with other people with compound bows, and then recurve bows are going to compete against each other. The difference between these is a recurve bow kind of bends back at the edges, and then a compound bow uses a pulley system for the strings. For the arrows, there's a few different arrows you may use. There are aluminum ones, fiberglass ones, and fiber ones. So depending on how you like to shoot your bow and what type of bow you're using, you may use a different type of arrow. And the goal of shooting these arrows is to get them closest to the bullseye of the target. The target is split up into different colored bands as well as smaller bands within each color. White is your outside, then you have black, then you have blue, then you have red, and then you have yellow as your center. Those are the traditional colors of the bullseye and the target. The bullseye is in that yellow point. So for scoring points on the white area, depending on which of the individual stripes you're in, you're either going to score 1 or 2 points. For black, you're going to score 3 or 4. Blue, 5 or 6. Red, 7 or 8. And then yellow is going to be either 9 and 10 is that bullseye. If for some reason your arrow does land on the line in between two of the different point areas, you will get the points for the higher score. So if it's in between white and black, you would get generally 3 points. If for some reason it is in between the two ones in yellow, you would get 10 points, things along that lines. So competition can be played in multiple different ways. There's both individual and team competitions. Individual competitions are 1v1, so one archer versus one archer. And these can be played in two different ways. You can either be shooting 3 arrows or you can be shooting 6 arrows. If you're shooting 3 arrows, you do have a time limit. So what that time limit is you have 2 minutes to shoot those 3 arrows, but you alternate. So one person's gonna go, then the other person's gonna go, and then back and forth, going back and forth until you each shoot your 3 arrows, and those 3 arrows will make an end. Higher amount of points at the end of that end gets the points for that end. And then if you're playing 6 arrows, it's the exact same thing, alternating back and forth. This one, the time limit's a little bit more. You get 4 minutes, but alternating back and forth, shooting those arrows till you shoot your 6 arrows. And again, higher amount of points at the end of the end gets the points for that end. If for some reason there is a draw and everybody has the same amount of points, they're generally used as a tie, so it's just scored as a draw. Ends are scored generally if you're playing set play as 2 points if you win and 1 point if there is a draw. For individuals, you generally play till 6 points. There's also team competition. This is generally 3v3. So each team has 3 individuals. They all shoot their 3 arrows. Then the other team shoots their 3 arrows. And this one is played with 6 arrows. So each person on each team is going to shoot 2 total arrows so that the team shoots a total of 6 arrows. So for example, you'd say the US would shoot their 3 arrows. Then Canada could shoot their 3 arrows. And then the US would shoot their next 3. And then Canada would shoot their other 3. As an example of what order it would go in. For this one, you're generally playing to 5 points. So winner at the end of each end gets either 2 points for winning the end or 1 point for a draw, and its first 1 to 5 is going to win the competition. One other thing to note is about shooting order. So whichever team is winning gets the advantage and they shoot last. Shooting last gets the advantage because you can already see what the other team has scored or a general idea what they have scored. So if you win the previous round, you get to shoot last. And if for some reason there is a tie, it goes back to the original shooting order. Now, some of the difference between indoor and outdoor target archery. For indoor target archery, you actually have 3 small targets. And the key for this is they're each 40 centimeters in diameter, and you're shooting from much closer distance. You're shooting between 18 and 25 meters. And with your 3 arrows, you have to shoot it into one of each of the targets. So each arrow has to go into a different target. It doesn't matter which order you shoot into the targets, but you do have to put an arrow into each one of the targets. And for this one, your time limit is a little different. You have 20 seconds for each arrow for this one. For outdoor target archery, which is what is used in the Olympics, you are shooting from 70 meters, and there are some outdoor competitions that shoot from either farther distance up to 90 meters. You're shooting at a much bigger target. It is 122 centimeters in diameter, and because you're outside, you do have to take into account wind, weather, temperature, everything like that, as that can affect the way the arrow flies, which can affect how you shoot the arrow and where you need to aim. If there's some sort of wind, you might need to aim slightly off the center to be able to compensate for the wind. Outdoor archery is what is used in the Olympics, so this is what many people know and what many people see competed as they watch it during the Olympic competitions. And this is also the most popular form of archery. Most archery you're going to see is outside, but you do also have that indoor target archery. And there are other forms of archery besides the 2 I've listed. There's just so many that it would take forever to list all the different rules for them. But these are just kind of some of the general rules that overlap between multiple different forms of archery, and then your types of indoor and outdoor, just seeing how the 2 different ways run. But if you guys enjoyed this video about learning about archery, definitely let me know in the comments down below if you have any other questions about archery, how the sport works. If you'd like to see this video for any other sport, if there's some unique sport you would like to know the rules for, definitely let me know. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I will see you guys next Wednesday.